Okay, we'll begin this hearing by reading the notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given. The following hearing will be held in the Monroe County Courthouse, 605 on Capitol Avenue, Idaho Falls, Idaho, September 8, 2022 at 2 p.m. by the Monroe County Commissioners. For the purpose of public hearing in relation to application by Debbie Moats and Tim Moats for a rezone from agriculture A1 to manufacturing M1A zone. General location is 6027 South, 15th West, Idaho Falls, south of 49th West and west of 15th West and north of 60th South, Monroe County, Idaho. There was a legal description published along with instructions on how to participate. And this was published on August 24th, 2022 in the Post Register. Those present are all three county commissioners, and one of the planning and zoning staff, Glenn Austin and Michelle. To begin with, we'll have Michelle present the staff report and the review of the planning and zoning hearing, which we have the minutes in the record of, but without objection, that goes by the record. So, Michelle.
Right, Michelle Hagan. So this is an application to amend the zoning map from A1 to M1A by Deborah Moats and Tim Moats. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on June 22nd, 2022, and they recommended approval of the rezone request with the recommended standard rezone conditions, as well as the typical landscaping buffer requirement where adjacent to the arterial road and where adjacent to the A1 zoned property to the north and east. The vote was unanimous. The property is located on the east side of 15th West and south of 49th South and north of 65th South. The property is east of the Bush Ag plant. The subject parcel is approximately 10 acres and is developed with a single family residential dwelling and properties located within the area of impact for the city of Idaho Falls. The property has an industrial land use designation. The adjacent properties have an industrial designation to the northwest and south. A large area to the west has been annexed into the city of Idaho Falls. And the property to the east on the other side of the Butte Arm Canal is within the county jurisdiction and has an urban residential land use designation. The property is adjacent to the M1A zoning to the south and A1 land to the west, north, and east. So to the next slide. The zoning, we updated the zoning map for your packets on this, and on this slide shows the previous one, going back one.
We gotta add this to the function.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we.
Yeah, I thought you had. Okay. Sorry about that. We had a. The zoning map for your packets on this slide shows the correct zoning designation of the property to the east. There is another parcel to the north that was rezoned to M1A, and the findings of fact of when those parcels were rezoned were included in the hearing packet. The comprehensive plan has compatibility decisions that should be considered in all map amendments. These include looking at compatibility to adjacent uses, as well as determining if the proposed change would create undue concentrations of uses, which would destroy living quality, congest thoroughfares, or overload public facilities. It needs to be determined if the proposed change would create a negative impact on the existing established uses, congest thoroughfares, or overload public facilities. The proposal must consider protecting the adjoining uses and lot compatibility qualities. The parcel is adjacent to existing M1A zoned parcel as well as A1. The proposed M1A zone is one that may be considered within the industrial land use designation and is adjacent to other M1A zoned properties in the county, as well as in the vicinity. The Bush manufacturing plant is within the city of Idaho Falls jurisdiction. There are currently no central utilities within the county jurisdiction in this area. Revised comments were received from Landscape, the Public Works Director. I'll read those for the record. The application does not have narrative that addresses the 4 points that it should as part of the rezone application. No vicinity sketch is provided. No proof of ownership has been attached. Parcel number 2 is all in what should be dedicated as public right of way to the county. Should this rezone happen to allow for platting in the future with the knowledge of the dedication of 50-foot from center line, section line east. Parcel number 1 should dedicate 50 feet from center line, section line for public right of way to allow for future platting. Parcel number 1 and 2 should be considered one parcel if the rezone happens, so as to prevent more than one access point in an entire frontage length. There is a total of about 414 feet of frontage on 15th West, with both parcels being counted. With an M1A zone, the potential traffic loads generated could be high. 15th West is an arterial road. These 2 parcels are contiguous to the city of Idaho Falls. Has the city of Idaho Falls been given a chance to annex the parcels in question? That's the conclusion of Lance's comments. And then we did receive comments from Eastern Idaho Public Health, and they had no comments for the application. And we did receive a memorandum from the city of Idaho Falls, which is your commissioner's exhibit number 1. Yes, you did.
Sometimes I forget that.
Yeah, no, you remember every single time today.
You're teaching.
Yes. Okay.
I just wanted to expound, a little bit on the letter from the city of Idaho Falls. They brought up that basically in that letter, in order to be consistent with their request, they're requesting that the developer go through the annexation process and see whether they're approved or denied before the county consider the application. I'd like to reference a finding from 26th February 2020 that was in reference to Jared Taylor, where the same issue was brought up. And basically just summarize that the city of Idaho Falls and what the county had practiced and agreed upon for the last 19 years. Always is basically that we gave the city a 2-week window for the developer to go talk to them and see whether the city wanted to annex it or not, and then they'd come to the county to annex it. The city told them no, or whatever happened in that scenario. So just wanted to reference that as part of this that we can look at and utilize as part of the decisions. So.
I don't know who did that. Well, I think part of that decision based on like the distance of service and possibility of, and we like the time which several months.
And the expenses of going through the annexation process to try to get an answer, yes or no.
And that raises a couple of questions. Do have this is sewer on 15 West. It's down.
Yes,
So we also, I don't believe the property.
I don't believe it's in 15.
Yeah, so it's not within 300 feet of the sewer. Requirement of this,
What was clarified by Chairman Beck was that the sewer line in that area is pressurized and it's the end of the line, so there would not be able to look into it easily, is what he shared during that meeting. I had talked to the city of Idaho Falls and they had explained that there was a sewer line there, but they didn't share any information. They may not have known, but they didn't realize that it was the end of the line and that it was pressurized.
questions I've got. direct range memo. Where you said this, the notice would be this in the plan, so I'm just understanding. So you set that at this level. The He says the city wishes to remain consistent by requesting the opportunity to consider annexation through the regular application process and then be acknowledged to the owner. If the property did not did contact our staff several weeks ago. But no application for annexation was filed, which I think goes back to the regular findings in 2020. The issue with the city would have to be defined process other than the annexation, because that's not a written policy.
And to become the defined process is something that would have to be agreed upon, right, by the city and county and adopted in the formal matter through some sort of hearing process.
And then, something that we may want to instruct. Anyone said once again, this time was your stuff. That once again, the staff will be happy to discuss the annexation process further if necessary. Okay. We can't do that once the application is for consideration. So we might have funding to staff is right with that. We want to do this without. Okay. That's the question that I have is. Okay. Anything else you wish to add?
I would just like to add that when we received the application from the Moats, we had looked at everything. We thought it was complete enough to process the rezone application at the planning level. Some of Lance's comments make me think that he didn't necessarily get a chance to see all of those additional items that were provided when he made those comments. So that's one thing I would like to add. Reading through those.
So if we have communication from this commission, we can do it.
Yes.
So, okay, so Vince. Yes, sir. You can speak loudly from there, you don't have to sit up front, the owl will look at you and pick you up.
Okay, thank you. Vince Moats, 4309 Pocono Street. I am the owner's son. She is not able to attend in person. She was trying to get online, but perhaps that didn't happen. Basically, she's living on the property by herself. She's looking to sell it. Several of the offers that have come in have asked, can it be zoned as a commercial for other opportunities, which is consistent with the master plan of the county. So some of the offers that she's received were conditional on a general rezoning to commercial without specific plots and development plans, because we don't know what potential purchaser might want to do with it. So that's basically what we're doing. We're weighing at the. Here's my buddy. So that's basically our attempt to just get this rezone with no specific plan for the future at this time. And
Just understand that you make the rezone,
yes,
a lot of times we don't pay the fines, so.
okay,
This is just the application here only.
Okay.
See what's compatible, see if it meets the requirements.
you're Dan. Thank you, sir.
So. Good. Right, thanks.
Thank you.
I don't know. If you're, one, that's why.
I can just share a little bit from what we had. Okay, Dan Thomas, 3000 Old Castle Lane, I don't know, I know what when we originally looked at this, we looked at it from the commercial standpoint. There's stuff that was adjacent. Talked extensively here with your also planning and zoning gal, she knew kind of what we need to do and what we need to ask for. And so just kind of guided us in the direction we could do. The neighbor to her south has already got that commercial zoning, and I do think the chances of someone cleaning up that whole area, I think it really would improve just that whole vicinity. If someone came in, developer wanted their lot, the other one, and get the other ones that are along there, that might be something that could be a little more worthwhile. Value wise for her, the market's shifting and changing so much in real estate right now that commercial property tends to hold its value a little bit longer than residential have. And it's just done historically a little bit better in the last 12 months than residential have. And for her, it's taking care of the 10 acres and doing it there. And so instead of her selling it for residential price that she can't get, it would be better for her to sell it as commercial property if that's what the county decides would be best for it. We're 100% in favor of, but we always have a plan B in our, you know, in our plan we need it.
Since this is several pieces of property in the county jurisdiction, like our property is, you know, so, yeah, that's what we'll look at. That, you know, we're not in business, we're trying to make it best for investment, the best for, consumer plan.
And the people who have looked at it, there's no gentleman that's interested in doing storage units, and that gentleman that's interested. Yeah, they, so just like that's what they would, if there's somebody who's going to utilize it for whatever they're utilizing it for. We have no idea what some would turn into, but obviously you have more capabilities to do something commercially. For that kind of thing. Okay, thank you.
Thanks. No, for the developer, maybe for staff, be ready to act there. So I'm still a little bit confused about this for better sidewalk. I mean, this is an arterial. Similar to, you know, another one we heard today. Will it be required now? It's not required as far as recent.
So it would be triggered when they come in to do a subdivision plat, and it would fall into that same standard.
Most of the time on rezone level, we say arterial road improvements are going to be required or something of that generic nature. And then once they get to the actual plotting point, it's more determined as to what they actually do and what those requirements are.
I guess that's what I was hoping, so that would be a part of the findings, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. I think it was double, which we talked about, they have something with those findings. Do the construction. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay, now with that, we'll call this hearing to a close. You'll confusion on the bottom. Probably.
Did we,
Michelle, yeah, will, and she will. All findings, the individuals, commissioners, their input. We'll get together in a public meeting, then we won't take testimonies. Public hearings, so we will set out, so if you're interested in attending. Watch our calendar, we usually do it in the 10 o'clock, when see open bridge plan and so on.